We talk about attribution and all that. You doing the personal brand, you being a C-suite person, right? How has that impacted the brand? Like, have you guys tied that together, your speaking engagements and the lift of the sales?
100%. So let me tell you how we look at it. It's a great question you're asking about measurement. So first, there's something interesting because when I was CMO, I didn't have time for all these speaking opportunities. I was managing a team of 60 marketers. I was in 12 Zoom calls a day. Who had time to travel and do these speaking opportunities? And our current CMO and CRO, they're in the same problem. They've got large teams to run. They're invited to speak at all these events, but they don't have time. But guess who has time now? I do. So I go to a bunch of these events, and I also take a bunch of client meetings. In the last year, I had over 100 meetings with CMOs who use Gong, and I talked to them and their teams about how, as an executive, I would approach using Gong. Now, here's an answer to your question, Jared. Every one of those customers is either an existing customer, so I know exactly how much ARR I'm influencing by meeting with them, or they're a prospect, so I know what the opportunity size is, so I know how much pipeline I'm influencing. And so it's those numbers that I put together, and I said, hey, I just met with $3.5 million of active ARR with $5 million of pipeline, and that's the impact that I'm making. That's how I look at it.
You see, but you know what, Cuzzo? He said something that was very important, though. He said something that was very important. The role is created generally for somebody that already has a mastery of being within the company.
Absolutely.
And number one, that's not only time within the company, but working different roles within the company. So he's like a master of many roles now. And like he said, like now it's like, what better way to use a person that kind of understands the whole way this thing works, but to now get the message out.
Yeah, but
agreed. You can't take someone who likes being a wallflower and tell him you're the chief evangelist now. That's not gonna work. It's gotta be someone who has a platform, who has a network, who likes and putting themselves out there. Absolutely.
Yeah, but and the leadership has to understand that, right? So sometimes a lot of companies, not saying definitely Gong is forward thinking in that respect, right? Like they were one of the people. So for context too, sis, right? On LinkedIn, when I first started my LinkedIn journey, Udi was one of the people that was front and center. He was like one of the only ones that were like C-suite. So I'm looking at my post, I see Udi going, and then I start seeing the account executives. I start seeing the customer success managers. I start seeing the marketing team, sales guys, everybody with a personal brand. And I'm competing with all of them. I'm seeing 30 guys from Gong, and it's just little old me posting, trying to get
I don't know when they have time to sell anything. They're on LinkedIn all day.
And they took that and developed it to that brand, right? And it just makes sales and everything more easier. But it's for the leadership to say, look, Udi's a jack of all trades. Why put him in his role and put a square peg in a, you know what I mean, circle in a square peg? Why would we do that?
Well, I'll tell you, Jared, having all these people, and I was half joking about them not having time to sell, because actually some of our top salespeople are on LinkedIn all day. Yeah, like Brian Lamana and Keenan and Kyle Lewis and all these great guys and gals. They're doing a great job. And we've heard from many customers, they said, when it came down to choosing the company we're going to go with, we decided to go with this company who's spreading all this thought leadership on social. Message. There you go. They're genuinely excited about their job. We can see how passionate they are to work for Gong. And those are the type of people we want to partner with. We want to do business with those kind of people. So it really does make a difference, and customers do notice it.
Absolutely. And the fact that they don't notice it, right? Like, just from a sales perspective, it made my life so sis. I used to go on calls with Udi too. Somebody followed me for a year. Never spoke to this person. They never liked the post. They never commented, never anything. They'll go into my DM and say, Jared, I've been following you for a year. I love your content. I love this one really posts. I really love this one. But by the way, I'm doing SEO and I need a project that does this, and the third. I have this allocated budget. Can you talk tomorrow? Hell yeah, I can talk tomorrow. I'm free the whole day. You know what I'm saying? Then you get on the call, and then your 15 minutes are just pleasantries, right? And they're like, oh my God, I follow you all the time. I like what you do. We're talking about life. You're building that rapport. So by the time it's time to talk business, all I got to do is solve. I don't have to sell. I could just hear you.
You got to put yourself out there. If you want to meet new opportunities, you've got to put yourself out there.
Only way.
Message. I got a question for you though, Udi. You've had a very focused career, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.